Hi, my name is Ariana Doolan. I am 13 years old and live down under in the beautiful country of kangaroos and crocodiles called Australia. Today I want to talk about a new theory of gravity. But first, let's start with an overview of the historical ideas concerning gravity. In the 16th to 17th centuries, people believed that there existed a magnetic attraction between the sun and the planets. It was not until 1687 that Isaac Newton came up with this theory of gravity. Newton observed an apple falling off a tree at his parents' property in England. He suggested that the apple was pulled towards the center of the earth by a force he called gravity. The word gravity comes from the Latin word gravitas, which means weight or heaviness. Newton was unable to provide a mechanism to explain why the apple was attracted to the earth. He could only provide a description of what this proposed new force could do. Over 200 years later, in the year 1915, Albert Einstein came up with the first mechanism to explain gravity. Einstein was able, with the help of others, to develop his general theory of relativity. Einstein's theory was mathematically based with extremely difficult maths. Basically, Einstein believed that there exists 4 dimensions, consisting 3 dimensions of space and 1 dimension of time. Einstein suggested that the sun and the planets bend this 4-dimensional entity, which he called space-time. Einstein did not believe that gravity was a real force. He believed it to be fictitious, created by the curvature of space-time. Thus, the planets orbit the sun due to a curvature in the space-time. He also believed the moon orbits the earth because the earth bends space-time. One can visualize space-time if one imagines placing a shot put in the middle of a trampoline. The rubber of the trampoline mat would curve around the shot put. You could then make a marble orbit the stretched rubber of the trampoline. Einstein predicted that curved space-time could cause light to bend. His prediction was confirmed in 1919 by an English astronomer, Arthur Eddington, as his team of astronomers observed light from a nearby star being bent during a solar eclipse. This phenomenon was later called gravitational lensing. Einstein's space-time fabric is just a vacuum of empty space, which objects bends. Scientists believe that gravity may be caused by gravitational waves, or a particle called the graviton. They have spent millions of dollars looking for the mysterious waves and particles, but they have never been detected. Now that I have given you a brief history of gravity, I would like to propose an alternative mechanism to explain it. Firstly, I would like to demonstrate an unusual magnetic phenomena from YouTube. The device is called an inverter magnet. It consists of 6 smaller neodymium magnets arranged in a plastic casing. 2 additional larger neodymium magnets are placed in the center of the plastic casing. The magnets are all facing with the same pole up. When another neodymium magnet is brought close to this assembly of magnets, an unusual thing happens. The magnets are attracted to central magnets, but also repelled by the smaller satellite magnets. The magnets are trapped a few millimeters away from the plastic casing containing the assembly of magnets. When the additional magnets are brought near the assembly of magnets, they cannot get any closer or get any further away. Watch the following YouTube clip, which explains the magnetic phenomena. Due to copyright issues, I cannot show the YouTube video as mentioned. However, I can demonstrate how this magnetic phenomena works. When the neodymium magnet is brought close to the assembly of magnets in the plastic casing, it can be attracted or repelled. Let's see repulsion first. Now let's invert the assembly of magnets. Let's see what happens. The magnet is attracted by the large central magnet and repelled by the small satellite magnets. An air gap of 5 to 7 millimeters is created. Now look what happens when I turn the assembly of magnets. The outside magnet follows the assembly of magnets. It cannot be any closer or get any further away. This is very similar to the behavior of the moon and the earth. My dad has used this magnetic phenomena and has built up the following model, which I will now outline. My dad's hypotheses. Hypothesis 1. The moon orbits the earth due to a magnetic attraction. The earth is acting like an inverter magnet which the moon is attracted to. The small outside magnets are deposits of iron ore, in particular magnetite. And the large inner magnets can be represented by the Earth's iron core and its molten iron nickel layer. As the Earth spins on its axis, it produces a rotating magnetic field. The Moon doesn't have a global magnetic field anymore, but does have smaller magnetic field, magnetosphere, on its far side. My dad believes that the Moon has essentially clipped onto the Earth's rotating magnetic field. He believes that we only see one face of the Moon because it does not actually spin on its polar axis. It is more accurate to say that the Moon rotates around the Earth's barycenter. My dad believes that synchronous rotation is a myth. That is where the rotational period of the Moon on its axis is equal to its orbital period around the Earth. Nikola Tesla in 1919 also suggested that the Moon does not rotate on its polar axis, but does rotate on the Earth's barycenter. Watch my demonstration of the Moon revolving around the Earth. In this demonstration, I will show that synchronous rotation is a myth. I will be representing the Earth spinning on its axis, the chair. The Vegemite bottle will represent the Moon. The Vegemite label will represent the one face of the Moon which faces Earth. My arm will represent tidal locking of the Moon to the Earth. As I spin in the chair, the Vegemite label still points to me, but does not spin on its own axis. Let's demonstrate the effect. See what I mean? Hypothesis 2. The Sun acts like a gigantic inverter magnet as well. The planets are held in their orbit by the Sun's rotating magnetic field. The Sun's sunspots are acting like the satellite magnets in the inverter magnet assembly. Hypothesis 3. Einstein's space-time fabric is actually the magnetic field emanating from the Sun that permeates throughout the solar system like an ether. The planets bend the magnetic field of the Sun and partially couple their magnetic fields to the Sun's magnetic field. The Sun's sunspots are found mainly between 30 degrees north and 30 degrees south of its equator and migrate to the equator during their life cycle. The Sun produces a torus-like magnetic field structure. Hypothesis 4. Objects accelerate to the surface of the Earth because the Earth's magnetic field pushes on our atmosphere. Hypothesis 5. Gravitational lensing should be more appropriately called magnetic lensing, and gravitational redshift should be called magnetic redshift. Hypothesis 6. The unaccounted variation of 43 arcseconds per century for the precession of perihelion of Mercury is caused by random variations in sunspot activity over the century. Hypothesis 7. My dad believes that our solar system operates on an electromagnetic basis. He predicts that the internal structure of the planets or stars are responsible for the electromagnetic force of attraction between these heavenly bodies.